of sociology. Thank you for coming in this severe heat and high temperature. So, shall we start? So, first of all, why we are here? So, we are here for identifying whether sociology is our subject of interest to opt for in civil services examination or not. First thing is that. And second thing, our purpose of attending the session is that whether if sociology is appreciated or liked by us, do we have to basically find an institute like Next IAS to join it, or whether we can do it on ourselves, right? So these are the two questions which are going to be addressed in the coming session, right? So as you know, the optional subject sociology is one of the easiest optional subject in the entire civil services examination. And I'm not saying just because I am basically teaching this optional subject, but it is a proven fact. Years after years, if you see the selection of candidate from the optional subject, sociology was having a highest score. If 100 candidates are selected in civil services, UPSC itself has accepted in its annual report that 10 of them are from background of sociology. And this is about the selected candidate. Many of them appear in the interview that is not having any record by the UPSC, right? So sociology is having among all the existing optional subject the highest success rate, right? Now, again, but first thing first, we need to ask ourselves that when UPSC gave us choice of 48 optional subjects, and it include all sorts of literature, including Hindi literature, Sanskrit literature, literature of Tamil, Telugu, and other regional languages also. So, along with the literature subject, UPSC gave us all 48 choices to make in examination to opt for an optional subject. So, why do we take sociology first of all? So this is our first question we would like to address, right? Now, whenever life gives us choices, as a human being, we always get confused with the choices. Whenever choices are not there, we are very happy with it. So once you have decided to prepare for civil services, there was no choice before you, whether to opt for general studies or not, whether to appear in essay paper or not. Again, only one place where UPSC gave you choice, that is to make a choice of optional subject. And that is what make it more confusing. And you are not the one. Any person who is having this choice will have this confusion. And this kind of confusion, what we called as cognitive dilemma. Dilemmas are the situations when we cannot make a clear decision out of available choice we have been offered. So all of us, whenever we are having a choices, we will suffer from some form of the dilemma. And one type of dilemma is cognitive dilemma. So what is cognitive dilemma? Cognitive dilemma is that dilemma which arises due to lack of information about something. So when you're not familiar about something, like after 10th grade, most of us suffer from this dilemma. Which subject we should offer, or which subject we should opt for. Whether we should go for science, whether we should go for humanities, whether we should go for other basically stream. So we need some consultation and advice of some senior. And they will give us information and remove our cognitive dilemma. So here also, when there is a 48 optional subject, why should we choose sociology as an optional subject is make us suffer from this dilemma. And in the coming session, we will try to basically resolve this dilemma by providing you sufficient information related to sociology option. Other forms of dilemma, as you might be familiar, are emotional dilemmas. Emotional dilemmas we deal with daily, when our friend gives us some kind of compulsory advice which is supposed to be followed, or some questions we have addressed in our childhood, whether we like our father more or mother more. That is an emotional dilemma, right? So there was a famous joke circulated around that is said to be asked by UPSC interviewer. Whenever you prepare for civil services, never tell anyone that you are preparing for civil services. Otherwise, your relative will make your life miserable by asking random question, telling you that it is asked in some UPSC interview. So they will ask you, Bay of Bengal is in which state? Now, now you are basically going to answer liquid state. So again, again, such kind of thing they will take just to pull your leg only, right? So emotional dilemma maybe they would ask a question randomly, ki if there is a flooding going on and in one side your mother is drowning and in the other side your basically wife is drowning, who would you save? So generally most of us answer mother, क्योंकि वाइफ को तो कोई ना कोई बचा ही लेगा, so मदर को शायद कोई बचाने ना आए. So that kind of thing is what happened during the preparation period whenever we have such kind of basically dilemma situation. So first, why should we go for sociology as an optional subject? So again, reasons for opting sociology optional subject. Once we have taken a call to appear for civil services. So first and the primary reason for opting sociology optional subject is its, again, you can say syllabus. There are something in life we always want it to be in small size, like problems. We want always in small sizes. We want life to be big, but problem to be as small as possible. And again, I would not say sociology is a problem, but naturally a hurdle for you to cross in civil services examination. So it has one of the shortest syllabus in the civil services, basically syllabus provided for all the optional subject. It has just 25 units and can be completed within 100 lectures, which goes around 100 to 110. And when we are saying that the topic will be covered in 100 or 110 lectures, we are assuming that in this we have already covered our previous year question related discussion. We have discussed the answers or answer writing approach in it. So including everything possible, you can complete this entire sociology with complete previous year discussion and your answer writing practice in the next 100 or 110 lectures, right? So roughly around less than 4 months is the duration for completion of this topic. Second important factors for choosing the sociology as an optional subject is about its simplified and relatable topics. Currently, election is going on and everyone is under election fever. Many a time you will read in newspaper a phrase that people of India don't cast their vote, they vote their caste. Now, caste become so important factor in the election that you will appreciate it more once you go through the syllabus of sociology, where caste played a very important basically part of our sociology topic. So once you understood the caste, how it originates, how it is basically functional to the society, what are its dysfunction, you will understand the role of caste in voting behavior. And that will help you understand why some political party before the result already started boasting that whether we are winning or losing, because they have secured a caste-based vote for themselves. So by reading sociology, you can understand very easily the behavioral pattern related to elections or politics. And this is also the topic in our syllabus, politics and society. Similarly, when you see the rise in the religiosity come communalism, nowadays everyone is wearing a religious identity on their badge or on their basically sleeves. So point is, why there is a sudden upsurge in this religious assertion started. So that we will understand better after reading sociology, and there is a topic in our syllabus, religion and society. From origin to its manifestation, how religion play an important role in the life of people is given over there. Similarly, sociology has given, or in the syllabus, they have given 6 thinkers in paper 1 and 3 thinkers in paper 2. Now many people get a sense of insecurity by hearing the word thinkers, that they have to do some complicated task or stuff. On the contrary, sociologists are very simplified basically in terms, sociologists are very simplified kind of scholar who gave perspective to understand something, right? Again, there are 6 thinkers in paper 1, 3 thinkers in paper 2. Along with that, many other perspectives are there. So overall, there are approximately 10 perspectives in sociology. Once you understand that perspective, any question asked in examination using this perspective, you can answer that question. It includes feminist perspective, it includes functionalist perspective, it includes Marxist perspective. I'll discuss that in detail. So if you see the syllabus, there will be rarely anything in the topic of the sociology which is unrelated or you are not finding the term familiar to you, because we are living in a society and sociology is nothing but a systematic study of society only. So the topics are very relatable and simplified. You can see those topics in action in your day-to-day life, and that make it more interesting and generate your interest also very easily. Third is very scoring. Now, scoring is ideally a misnomer because optional never score on its own. Candidate who appear in examination with that option score more. But why would you score more? Unless and until you have developed interest in that subject or you would like to study that subject. So again, if you see the last 10-year record, sociology performance in the examination is consistent. So when I'm saying in the last 3 years, sociology has got the highest selection, and apart from that, every year, sociology के 9 to 10% or 11% selections rate रहा है. So it is a constant performer of basically civil services examination. That is why sociology is often called as evergreen subject as well. So again, because of its short syllabus and simplified and you can say relatable topic, it is also making it scoring. Fourth reason for opting sociology is there is no need for any form of background in sociology. In fact, a slide which I'll show you shortly will be sufficient to prove this fact that all the toppers in top 25, 5 students were from sociology this year, and all of them were not having sociology as a optional or subject in their graduation. 4 of them are BTech and 1 of them is BCom honors. So you can understand that sociology in general is not requiring any kind of background. In fact, those people who are from different background understand sociology well because they are bringing their subject knowledge already, and added with sociological knowledge, they will create some blending of different dimension in their answer, and that will be an added advantage to people who are not having any background. Again, so sociology is having no background at all. So these were some of the major reasons for any person to opt for sociology as an optional subject. Now, once we have understood one thing, that sociology is one subject which is going to explore everything happening in society, because the definition of sociology itself derived from 2 different words from Greek language and Latin language. So the Greek word socius is meaning society, that is derived from Latin word socius, and logos means systematic study. Socius का actual meaning companionship है, which is what indirectly referring to society, and logos is systematic study. So when you go for systematically studying something in society, that become part of sociology. तो society में तो हम लोग born and brought up हैं. So something happening in society already connect with us. So again, once you understood that idea, you can easily address any question even if you have no basically information about it based on your day-to-day experiences with added 10 perspective learning. So that way, sociology is not going to trouble you at all, right? So again, this is one thing. Now, once you have identified that sociology is an optional subject you are going to take, why should you join Next IAS? So remember, other subjects are not taught by one person or one faculty. Whether it is general studies or essays, you will feel having lot of faculties contributing in that subject. However, optional subject is mostly under the supervision of 1 or 2 faculties only. And it is very important for you to develop some kind of, you can say, resonance with the teacher. When teacher is having some class, and if you're not making any sense of that, no matter which optional subject you will opt for, it will not give you desirable result. So first, you have to choose a good optional subject according to your own reasons or interest. And second, you have to choose a teacher who could basically deliver that particular subject well to you in a simplified form. Again, a good optional with a bad teacher, in general there is no bad teacher, everyone try to basically provide you to the best of their capability entire information related to subject, but sometime our frequency did not match. So good optional with bad teacher is as basically poor decision as well as bad option with good teacher. So again, what you have to do is, again, choose the place where you would like to join the optional subject wisely. Again, why you should choose Next IAS? So first of all, we will be very strict toward syllabus. So in Next IAS, we will follow every word which is written in your syllabus. Not a single basically topic will be left, no matter whether it is important from examination point of view or not. It is our duty to complete entire syllabus, because nowadays you can't leave any single topic, which many basically institutes are ignoring. We will cover everything possible in the span of 3.5 months. Second thing is, knowing is not important, because you can get this information from different books and YouTube videos also. Simultaneously, after knowing about the subject, you also need to have execution of that particular knowledge through answer writing practice. So in our class, we will go for rigorous answer writing practice. How we will do that? So first we will complete one unit, and then after unit 1, we will discuss its all previous year question spanning from more than 20 or 25 years. Then we will discuss how to write an answer from a UPSC point of view with proper structuring, presentation and the content. And then after doing that, we will have an assignment for chapter 1. And this assignment will have questions with page number, and you have to basically complete the assignment reading the book itself. Opening the book itself, you have to complete that assignment initially. So after you understood the class, you can able to do that, right? Again, third thing is, we will ensure that after the topic is over, we will have a one-page summary or synopsis prepared for this entire unit. This is part of our discussion. We will let you make, and if someone is of that basically nature that they are unable to make a synopsis, we will give you everything. So we will provide you by the end of our discussion or our classes the 30-page summary of entire sociology. Why 30 page? We'll discuss it shortly. So synopsis of every unit will be in single page. Then iske baad all the previous solved paper of 5 years will be provided to you in a printed form. So एक आपको solved PYQ की booklet मिलेगी, which will cover entire 5-year question paper followed with a discussion. तो इसके अंदर आपका discussion भी रहेगा, right? So एक तो आपको question, answer, how to write an answer, and again followed by a detailed discussion of the PYQ, how to solve those PYQ is also there, right? And again, lastly, we can have every end of 5 unit. So after every 5 unit, we will have a classroom test. So हर 5 यूनिट के बाद, मतलब टोटल 25 यूनिट्स है, तो 5 classroom tests will be there. You can have a decision to make whether you want to write in classroom or you can take it at your home and write comfortably over there. I will be evaluating that without any concern or query, right? So these are the things. इसके बाद, which I believe is very strong part of our institute, is we will provide test series also, which is included in it. So if you see any other institute, they will give you test series as a separate program. But I feel that unless you have not applied your knowledge of sociology in a simulated exam-like situation by appearing in test paper, you would not able to do justice to the preparation. And this is included in your basically entire package, which is provided to you by Next IAS. मतलब इसमें 8 टेस्ट होंगे, and generally the duration of these tests is from the month of June to September. So since you are joining or you will be joining in the month of June, either you can write it now or write it next year. It will be available to you free of cost. There will be no charges for it. So most likely you will be writing it for next year June period. So that is basically allowed to you. Then after the classes are over, we'll do entire things related to the current aspect. But after the classes are over, every year we'll have a Telegram channel. You will be basically member of that Telegram channel where we'll be uploading the current affair from the sociological point of view before every year of mains examination. Jaise this year examination is scheduled to be in month of September. So what we'll do in the last week of August, we will upload an entire year current affair and where to use those current affair in the examination and which topic you should apply that current affair. So annual current affair, which is not going to be much detail. Why? Simply because we need to write 1 or 2 lines related to the current affair related to particular topic. We need not to have a detailed analysis of it, right? So again, that will be given to you. So because of these things, and if you can compare it with any other institute, you will probably not find it. So that is where you will find Next IAS is providing you a different basically approach to appear for this or to prepare for this examination from sociological point of view, having sociology as an option, right? And this is basically 2 things which I would wanted to address. Now, coming to the regular session related to the topic of sociology, 5 things we have to focus. First is your interest in the subject. Whenever you opt for any optional subject, first thing is you must have an interest in that particular optional subject, without which nothing will work for you. So optional subject need to be chosen with the intention to spend at least 6 to 8 months for it. So if you don't have interest in that subject and if you just go by the people's opinion, what will happen? Sooner you will lose interest in that subject and you have to search for some other optional subject. तो अगर आपका interest है तो चाहे वो subject perform कर रहा हो चाहे ना कर रहा हो, you will score well. But अगर आपका interest नहीं है, तो what will happen? You will find that just on the basis of suggestion of your friends or some mentor, you will feel disappointed with your choice. So first thing, search your interest. कैसे करें interest search? So go through the basic books like NCERTs, like basic text related to that subject. So if you are still in dilemma whether sociology is your cup of tea or not, I would recommend a book called as Harlambus, which is orange cover book. I'll mention that as well. So this orange cover book will be of 580 pages. If you can complete its first 5 chapters, you will get a clarity whether sociology is making sense to you or not. So that is how you will explore the interest. If you have interest in some other subject, you can also go through their NCERTs, basics books that will help you to gauge whether you are interested in that subject. Second, many people says is requirement of academic background. I have already answered. For sociology, you don't need any kind of academic background for the subject. So this will not apply on sociology or similar humanity subject, but may be applied on mathematics or engineering based option, where some background or medicine background needed for medical science option. So like that, you will not need it here. Then availability of guidance. The best part of opting sociology is it is taught in almost all universities of India, and you have gone through the refined material available in all universities, and there is a research material available. So आपको effort नहीं करना पड़ेगा. Suppose you have opted for Santhali literature, which is out of 48 subjects available. So you have to do all the hard work. It is just like whenever you are asked to basically create a fire, there are 2 options. By basically having a 2-stone use for this purpose or using a lighter. So when you opt for Santhali literature, most of the research probably would be done by you because the guidance is not available in general. You have to look for a specific university or a specific faculty. But for sociology, ample amount of guidance is there and well-researched material is already there because of its easier nature and its popularity. Again, 4th choice for choosing an optional is whether if I am using an optional subject, if I am studying an optional subject, it is useful in other sections of the examination or not. Like the syllabus which is provided to you, if you go through those syllabus, you will get to know that major topics which is given in sociology optional subject is overlapping with the GS paper 1, GS paper 2, GS paper 3, GS paper 4 as well as essay. If you read sociology option, major portion of your general studies is already prepared. So that way you will not study sociology in an isolation, rather you are also side by side completing some of the topics in other GS paper. In fact, many people do not do the general studies classes also, and they just focus on sociology class and complete the GS on their own, because major conceptual clarity needed for some topic of GS is already covered in sociology. Right? Fourth is optional syllabus. I have already explained that sociology offer you the shortest optional syllabus among the available option, and the duration of completion is also very less. Performance of the optional subject in the last 5 years. So iske liye we have to go through the data. So performance of optional subject, how do we know? So UPSC is a constitutional body, and every year it is duty bound to present an annual report about its process or its duties it has performed. So UPSC is going to select some of the candidate for the post of civil services. So they will present an annual report, and it is taken from the UPSC annual report 72 and previous to 72 reports, that what is the performance of optional subject from sociology. So if you see the last basically year's performance, you will find that out of 1245 candidates appear in mains examination from sociology option, finally there were selection of 115, and 9.2 is the rate of selection. Previously 10%. Now one may say that it is not that good. So if you compare it with other optional subject, it is one of the highest. So relative comparison will make a difference. So sociology have the highest selection rate in 2020. Sociology has the highest selection rate in 2019. Sociology has the highest selection rate in the year 2018, and its performance is consistent, meaning you will not find someday 20% selection from sociology option. Neither you perform 2% selection from sociology option. So year on year, it is safest and consistently performing option subject in examination. You will not get any kind of shock or surprise if you opt for sociology option subject. So this is what its performance. Syllabus we have already talked about. You have been provided with the syllabus. If you have some issues related to the topic, I'll discuss it in detail about that. So as I mentioned, there are 25 units, 10 units are in paper 1 and 15 units are in paper 2. What I was referring to, a 30-page summary, is that I will provide you 1 page for unit 1, unit 2, unit 3. Now when you see unit 4, it has 6 thinker, as I mentioned in paper 1. इन सबके सिंगल पेज समरी होगी या सिनॉप्सिस होगा. सो 6 ऑफ दिस एंड रेस्ट ऑफ द बेसिकली 6 ऑफ द 9 विल बी देयर, मेकिंग इट 15. सो इसके बाद के जितने हैं उसके एक पेज. तो ये हो गया आपके 15 पेज समरी ऑफ पेपर 1 एंड exactly 15 page summary of paper 2. Make the synopsis or summary in 30 pages. So in mains examination, before the actual paper, you can revise the optional subject multiple times. Imagine 30-page summary is there. You can revise it in 3 or 4 times in a single day itself, and you will get 1 week leave between the GS paper and option subject. So you will have lot of confidence when you appear in examination. Now, as I was mentioning, utility in other subjects. So if you see the syllabus of GS paper 1, there were a lot of subjects or topics of GS paper 1 which is overlap with sociology. Entire Indian society is sociology only. Similarly, in history or world history section, you have topic like capitalism, communism, socialism, and their effect on society. We will discuss it in sociology itself. Similarly, you have various other world history topic, including American Revolution, Industrial Revolution, the French Revolution. They are part and parcel of sociology syllabus. So यहाँ से आपके बहुत सारे GS paper 1 के topic हो जाते हैं. Similarly, for GS paper 2, the entire topic associated with social justice, that include pressure group, vulnerable sections, welfare schemes, and your issues related to poverty and hunger will be covered in sociology. So again, 20 to 30% of the syllabus of paper 2 is part of sociology. Paper 3 will be primarily covering the topics associated with land reform, which is one of the major topic in paper 2 of sociology. Similarly, left-wing extremism, which is developed out of your internal security, is part of your sociology. Similarly, you will have the industrial policy changes and how it impact on society is part of our topic industrialization and urbanization in modern India. It's covered, right? So in detail we have covered. Chapter 4 में, GS paper 4 में, there are some specific theories or there are some specific ideas related to ethics, and majority of them are derived from the ideas of sociologists. So be it utilitarianism, which is given by J.S. Mill, part of sociological discussion also, or ideas associated with all this religion, which we will cover in religion and topic, will be very handy when you cover it in sociology. So after doing that, you will be finding that there will be no additional requirement for these topics in GS also. So this is what overlap means. Now, what are the difference? So two kinds of people will be preparing. One will be that who will be joining the class, completing entire sociology within the span of 3.5 months, 4 months, right? So if we start our classes on 24th of June, before 30th of June, again, most likely by 20th of, before 30th of November, most likely by 20th of November, we will be winding up our syllabus. But if you want to opt the basically preparation and wanted to go for self-study, so for those students, since you are attending the session, again, I would strongly recommend to restrict your material or references. So if you are reading it on your own, only if you are reading, otherwise if you are attending the classes, you need not to go through these books. So if you are reading it on your own, what you have to go through is the books, which is first for paper 1, Sociological Theory by Raj Sir, और एंथनी गिडेंस बेसिकली बुक टाइटल्ड एज सोशियोलॉजी. इन दोनों में से कोई एक पढ़ सकते हैं अगर आप सेल्फ स्टडी कर रहे हैं तो. Otherwise, we have already incorporated it in our material which is provided to you, and our discussion happened to be in classroom. Second is Harlambus. This Harlambus is what I was referring to, orange cover Harlambus, for your, you can say, identification of interest. It is a 580 pages book which can be covered within few weeks if you regularly read for 1 or 3 hours daily. Either you buy it or the blue cover Harlambus. So these two books, Raj Sir and Harlambus, either of them will be sufficient to cover topics given in paper 1. Right? So ये दो book आप ले सकते हैं for self study. For paper 2, you have another book. Again, the choices I am giving, whichever you find it suitable, you can buy. Don't buy both of them. Right? So either you can go for Vidya Bhushan and Sachdev, Fundamental of Sociology, or Society in India by Dr. Ram Ahuja. दोनों में से कोई भी एक ले सकते हो. If you ask me which one is better, so according to my understanding, the Vidya Bhushan and Sachdev book is better than the other one. Right? Then another book is Indian Sociological Thought by B.K. Nagla, or you can have Handbook of Indian Society. So these two, out of these two, anyone can be opted. इसके अलावा, if you want to have a single book for complete reference, which most of you are habituated if you have completed your graduation in engineering or medicine or any other graduation, again in the last minute we want 1 week basically preparation for sociology, तो उसके लिए एक book है नितिन सांगवान सर की Essential Sociology. So अगर आपको कुछ नहीं देखना है, just buy that book, read cover to cover. But it is more of a revision booklet rather than understanding booklet. वो आपके पढ़ाई हो चुकी है, अब आपको एग्जाम के लिए प्रिपेयर करना है और एग्जीक्यूट करना है, तो उसके लिए अच्छी है बजाय के कंसेप्ट बिल्डिंग के लिए, क्योंकि उसमें बहुत ही अगेन कम शब्दों में बहुत कॉम्प्लिकेटेड चीज समझाई गई है. सो इट इज गुड वंस यू अंडरस्टूड द टॉपिक, बट इट मे नॉट बी अ बेटर ऑप्शन व्हेन यू आर ऑप्टिंग फॉर अंडरस्टैंडिंग अ कंसेप्ट, राइट? बट यू कैन डिसाइड ऑन दैट पार्ट वेदर वी शुड गो फॉर इग्नू नोट्स और अगेन any other material. I would say this would be sufficient. Again, whatever we have discussed. But still, if you want some additional reading, no harm in reading IGNU material. But then don't go by basically purchasing entire material for BA or MA courses. Rather, there is a website of IGNU called as eGyankosh. eGyankosh पे जाइए. Again, जो भी topic आपको नहीं समझ में आ रहा है, if you are doing it on your own, again just type that topic and on Google and write eGyankosh, and you will be having a digital content in the form of PDF available to you. Just download and read that. So that would be suffice. So this is about the topic. And as I was referring, this year more than basically 5 students have been in top 25. All of them from All India Rank 2, Animesh Pradhan, to basically Saurav Sharma. All of them are from non-sociological background. In our institute, there were students like you have Archana, who got All India Rank 40, and she was our Sociology Optional Advanced Course student. Vaibhav was our classroom student. He scored basically 58 rank, and he got 58 rank and scored highest marks in Sociology with 296. Another better marks was scored by basically your another basically topper, Medhanand, 310. But his score was basically near to highest. Again, Mahi Sharma has done the test series with us as well as your interview program. Same goes with your Divyanshi, and basically Mohsin has gone through this basically courses. Similarly, you have Mudit, you have Anand, you have Suvan, you have Kajal. They all were our student in sociology classes, or through some test series they were associated with us. So these were some of our students. These were the previous year. Again, topper Abhinav was our optional advanced course student. Similarly, you will have Yaksh Chaudhary was our classroom student. Again, not exactly Next IAS, but where I was teaching earlier, wahan pe classroom student the. And that is some of the previous toppers. So one thing you will find that none of them have a sociology background. So if you have no background in sociology, feel free that you are in the path of becoming topper in civil services because you don't have any background in sociology if you are opting for sociology, right? Now, last few things about the basic understanding related to society and sociology. So sociology के बारे में इतना ही जानना है आपको कि it is a systematic and scientific study of the society, and what does sociologists do? They will try to study the society from various perspectives. So one sociologist will use functionalist perspective, other will use Marxist perspective, some other will use feminist perspective, and so on and so forth. They would try to understand holistically what is sociology all about. Now again, this is some information related to examination, that when you appear in optional paper, there will be 8 questions, 50 mark each, 400 marks questions will be there. You have to choose 5 out of them and appear, or basically you can say attempt those 5 questions, making it 250 marks paper. Paper 1 may be and paper 2 may be. That would be discussed in some later part when we have actually begin our discussion on the optional subject. Now, again, benefits we have already discussed. Scoring hai, short syllabus hai, availability of study material hai, no background is required, and overlap with other subject is there. Now, those who are preparing on their own, what should be the strategy for them? Syllabus has been already provided to you. You have a duty to have every topic concise note with yourself. For every topic, if you are doing in classroom, we will anyhow provide you. But if you are doing it on your own, whatever written in the syllabus, you must have at least 500 to 1000 word content prepared for it, because question can be asked from any dimension. So first thing, cover every topic. Second, use minimum and standard sources only, which we have already referred. Complete basically knowledge for every topic is not needed from 10 different books. 1 or 2 book would be suffice. Read multiple time from 1 or 2 books rather than reading single time from different books. Again, consolidation, as I was mentioning, the 30-page summary should be there. Because if tomorrow or after 1 hour you have an examination to appear, what you can do is you can quickly revise with the synopsis you have already prepared. So ये साथ साथ ही करते जाना है. Likewise, you have to have a interlinkage with current affair, revision and test paper solution for your self-evaluation. So that is what all from my side related to the subject associated with sociology. Now other things is how and when we are going to start our optional subject. So it will be started on 24th of June. What would be the fees for it? So probably the management will tell you what is the exact fees. I'm not familiar with that. So that will be basically wind up most likely by 20th of November and before 30th of November. 30th of November se baad nahi jayega, because I am taking the last year where we have started in the first week of June and completed on 5th of November. So this year we are starting on 24th of June. So it will take 24 more days. So most likely by 30th of November or before that we will wind up the syllabus. Right? Now, if you have any query, concerns, doubt, feel free to ask. But before that, I would like to address some of the questions by the online student. So good evening Shubham, good evening everyone, good evening Atul, good evening Divyanshu, good evening Vishal, good evening Setu. I am getting confusion with option. Hopefully I was able to remove any kind of confusion you have. What is the material or how much is the material provided to you? क्या मिलेगा आपको when you join the subject or optional subject in Next IAS? So you will be provided, you will be provided with 2 booklet for paper 1 and paper 2. That will be sufficient. 250 page or 300 pages की है, and it is to the point. We are not beating around the bush related to the topic. It will be precisely covering to the demand of the question. And if you see the last 10-year paper, every question is asked from this 500 booklet notes itself. We have given a page-wise detail of the topics from where they were asked in the previous year also. Right? So first thing, 2 booklet. Second thing, you will be getting a dictionary. Many of the terms which you are not familiar, but using that dictionary, you will become more proficient in using this term in your answer. Because if you talk in sociological languages, which use lot of sociological jargons, again, it will make a evaluator more comfortable to evaluate your answer. Just like when you talk to a person who is a Tamilian in Tamil language, he will or she will be more comfortable. That same way, if you use sociological terminologies in your answer, that would be very helpful. So instead of writing frustration or depression, you will prefer to use the term alienation given by Karl Marx. Right? Similarly, if you have to refer to a particular kind of suicide happening in the society, Emile Durkheim has given 4 types of suicide. You will choose one of them, anomic or fatalistic or any kind of suicide into this to explain that. So this is what terminologies you have to follow. Right? Third things, first is 2 booklet, second is dictionary, third will be the solved PYQ, which I have mentioned, 5 years solved PYQs. Along with that, there will be a workbook. Workbook will contain all the previous 20 or 25 year question from that topic, which we will be discussing after every unit. So जैसी कोई unit खत्म होती है in the classroom, we will be covering all the previous year question in the classroom, major points related to that and how to write an answer. Initially, if you tell me to dictate the answer, we will do that also, but slowly and steadily we will restrict our discussion with major points to be highlighted in the answer. So these things will be provided as a form of material. And what would be our modus operandi when we discuss the topic? First, we will cover that topic completely, followed by a write-up of every topic. So जो आपके syllabus में उसका हर topic पे आपके पास write-up available होगा detail में, right? And then we will be covering the past year questions. Then Jackson has mentioned about the confusion. Hopefully your confusion is now resolved, I think. So Rohit has timing of the class. So timing will be most likely 3 p.m. to 5:30, which slowly and steadily will increase by 6 p.m. Right? So first day, I would not like to give you shock. Again, if we have to kill someone, we will give them slow poison. That will be similar in our classes. For 2.5 hours, first day classes will be there. Slowly and steadily, 5 minutes, 4 minutes, keep on increasing. And by the time we are winding up our syllabus, you will find that we have started already 3-hour lecture and sometimes some additional classes also, same day. So 6-hour classes also, but it would be last 1 week or last basically 4 or 5 days. Otherwise, classes will be precisely as far as I am concerned, 2.5 hour duration. Yes, now if you have any query, concern, please ask. Haji. From Monday to basically Saturday, we'll have a class. Sunday will be off, right? And Sunday will be basically a duration or the time provided to you for some revision, some kind of assignment completion, or some kind of synopsis making. So kind of you can say you'll be engaged for 7 days, 6 days in the classroom, 1 day with basically on your own to complete some of the stuff, right? So but classes will be for 6 days. Haji. Everything will be dictated in the class. You need not to worry on basically that part, right? You need not to read any book also if you are doing the classroom basically discussion or course also. Yeah? Haji. Again, one more thing, those who are still in dilemma for sociology option, we will have a 1 week NCERT classes for them. We start our basically sociology topics by going through the 11th and 12th class NCERT. So even if you have not decided by that time, you can come to join us free of cost, do the NCERT, which anyhow help you in your GS preparation. So NCERT will be covered in the first week, whatever important portion and topics are from the sociological point of view. So we'll cover that. Right? No. We'll do it in the first to 7th day of our first 7-day lecture. NCERT of 11th and 12th completely. And along with that, I will introduce some of the important terminologies to you so that you will become familiar about them, right? And this is a way to quickly recall them also, so that whenever we are using those terms in the classroom, you will not feel uncomfortable, right? Any other query? Haji. Again, as such, if you ask me, there is no difficulty for this optional subject because it is simplistic. But many of the students, based on their feedback, I found that initially they find it difficult to grasp over various terminologies. But rest assured, we will give various real life examples so that you can relate with it, right? So don't worry on that part related to difficulty portion. It is one of the easiest. Over a period of time, you yourself will start recommending other to opt for sociology because of its easy nature. इसके अलावा daily schedule should be that you have to spend 8 hours for your sound sleep, and then you have to study for 13 hours minimum after 8 hours sleep. और उसके बाद you have all the time to do whatever leftover things. Correct. So आप क्या करेंगे? जैसे आप जो भी क्लास करें, GS की क्लास है, so 3 hours I am assuming classroom duration will be, and assuming that sociology will also take your 3 hours. So 6 hours you will be spending in classroom. After completing 6 hours in classroom, whatever timing it will follow, you will supposed to go back home and memorize, cram, revise, whatever way you have to read it multiple times, whatever been discussed in classroom, in 3 hours only. So for GS, 3 hours in classroom, 3 hours at home. For sociology, 3 hours in classroom, 3 hours at home. It will take your 12 hours daily, and 1 hour is for newspaper reading every day. And after doing that, your mind will be completely exhausted and refuses to do anything. But that is what needed at this point. Why? Because once your optional is completed by the November month, you will be psychologically and mentally free from 500 marks in your mains paper that you have already prepared, everything possible. And only thing you needed is, after every fortnight or 1 week, you have to take out those 30 pages provided to you or you yourself has made in classroom and revise entire syllabus. वो बस करना है before your basically examination in the prelims, right? 15 दिन में एक बार revise कर लिया, फिर prelims के बाद you have to completely revise and appear for test paper. So that you have to follow when your 2 optional is going on. And again, June is the ideal time if your target is to appear in prelims of 2025. Why? Because in the month of November, once your optional is over, your prelims basically pressure started mounting on you. So you'll have sufficient 5 to 6 months exclusively to prepare for prelims examination, and with a confidence that your mains optional paper is already prepared. So that way you can appear in this basically paper more confidently for the prelims I'm talking about. If you have 2026 basically attempt, you can have a call to make whether you want to join in the month of June or in the month of November. But prefer joining in the month of June. Why? Because this is the time of mains. When you are preparing, many of your fellow students or many of your fellow aspirants are writing there or preparing their mains paper. So this is a time when in Rajendra Nagar or in any other place where students are appearing for mains examination, will have lot of basically mains examination practice paper solution. And that will also motivate you to solve as many questions as possible, or you could also help them in solution after discussing with them. So that way, June to November is the ideal duration for mains related preparation, especially optional subject preparation. November से कर सकते हैं if you have 2026 as your target or later. Okay? Any other query? हाँ, अभी तक तो मैं ही पढ़ा रहा हूँ. Again, I am not familiar कितने दिन तक. No. Only I will be taking entire topics. Again, no other faculty will be basically called upon to take any other topic. So no matter how simple topic is or how complicated topic is, I will be taking care of everything. है ना? Any other? मतलब कल का नहीं बोल सकते, but अभी तक तो यही plan है ना? इसके अलावा? Done? So let's wind up the session. Thank you for joining, and again, wish you all the very best. Whichever optional subject you choose, I pray and wish that you will got your desired services in your civil service examination. Thank you. हाँ, वही 3 घंटे जो आप घर पे करोगे उसी का रीडिंग, बस उतना ही करना है. That's it.